Hi again, everybody. This is Cathy McLeish, and I'm doing this series on alcoholism just to raise awareness. I'm a recovering alcoholic of 37 years, so I got sober when I was 27, and I just have a little bit of insight or information from all the time that people have worked with me and I've worked with other people as to how alcoholics think, how we live, how we make decisions. And of course, I'm not an expert on everybody. I'm just kind of sharing from my own experience and then the experience of being around and with other alcoholics, both recovering and still practicing. So as I do this series, I'm kind of delving into these questions, the questions that we might ask ourselves to see if we're an alcoholic. Or you might even look at it to see if your spouse is an alcoholic, or your son, or your parent. And these questions are really very intriguing because on their own, we probably can't answer them as practicing alcoholics because such a big part of the disease is denial. And so I have to laugh because if you get two right, you're a success, you're an alcoholic. On what other test is there that if you get two right, you're in? And so I think they kind of address the fact that we as alcoholics have a lot of denial and we may just kind of shy away from a yes on any of these questions. So the question I want to talk about today is, do we put ourselves in dangerous situations when we're drinking? And that is probably normally a yes. The more you progress in your drinking, at least for me, the more chances I took, the more risks I took, the more things I did that I wouldn't have done had I not been drinking. And here's some of the reason why. Excuse me. When I put alcohol into my system, it goes into my bloodstream. My bloodstream takes it immediately to my brain, throughout my body and to my brain. As it is in my brain, it lowers my inhibitions. So I may be making decisions with a lowered anxiety, lowered stress. I think I'm brave. I think I'm courageous. I think I'm a lot of things that I normally am not. And I feel that way because of what alcohol is physically doing to my body and specifically my brain. So I might, go into a bar and I might have the nerve to ask this girl to dance. And, that same inhibition that has been dropped, that same courage that is taking its place is courage enough for me to ask her to dance. And then I have to remember that it's also the same courage that is going to have me lip off to her 200-pound boyfriend that comes back from getting another round of drinks and sees me talking to his girlfriend. So that might get me a punch in the face. So that inhibition that has been dropped, is it bravery? I don't think so. Bravery is walking through something I'm afraid of without adding anything. Just there's something I'm afraid of, like when I'm 16 and I'm learning to drive. Like when I'm actually on my first date and I'm trying to make conversation with this guy. When I'm parenting in those first weeks and I'm walking through things that are all new to me, that is courage, that is bravery. Now, when I pour alcohol on my fear, and then I do something that seems courageous, like diving off of a mountain in Hawaii, that is not necessarily courage. That could even be a lack of judgment. That can be poor judgment. And that is what makes an alcoholic think they can drive after they've been at a party for 4 hours. That's what makes an alcoholic, think they need to talk about whatever's going on in the household that is the touchy subjects or situations. Get a couple beers in me and I am ready to talk. And that is not courage. That is false courage. That is pouring alcohol on my inhibitions so that I can do what normally I'm a little fearful of doing. So can that get me in trouble? It has probably gotten me into most of the trouble I've ever been in my life. And I want to speak to that just a little bit because it is very it's kind of hard to put your finger on. When I was like 22 maybe, and I was single, going to a bar, maybe I went into a bar alone because, my friends didn't drink like I did anymore. And I'm drinking and I see a guy and I'm like, that is a good looking guy. And instead of coming over and asking me to dance, he asks some other girl to dance. And so I'm kind of watching this situation and I drink another drink and I drink another drink and I think I can take charge of this situation. So I go up and I say to that girl, can I cut in? Can I dance with this guy? And she looks at me like, who do you think you are? And I'm like, oh, I'm his sister back in town, just want to spend a little time with my brother. So she walks away sheepishly because, you know, I'm a relative, and start to dance with this guy. And he's like, I don't have a sister. And it's like, I'm not looking for another brother. I got 3. So I'm on my way. Is that courage? No, that is the same kind of lowered inhibition that might get me in a car or an apartment with somebody that I met 2 hours ago. And that's a little bit scary. That might be my idea of fun one night if it works out, but the next night it could be a horrific situation that I can't walk back from, and it can scar me for the rest of my life. So alcoholic or not, it's very important that I know that alcohol lowers my inhibitions and my judgment is impaired. And so can I put myself in dangerous situations if I'm drinking? I certainly can. I know I told the story in another one of my videos of where I came face to face with my spouse who was an alcoholic, my ex now, but you know, he was a very angry person. I could be a very angry person if you got enough alcohol in me, and when those two come together, that's what's going to happen when alcohol lowers those inhibitions and you shoot off your mouth and you say things that under normal conditions you would not say. And that can be at that level, or it can be at any level that damages relationships, that hurts the people that we love. And oftentimes an alcoholic will get there, go past that with a few more drinks, and black out, and they don't even remember what they said to their partner the next day. And, you know, a lot of times we've broken those people down so much that they aren't going to tell us. They're going to think we know, and they aren't going to tell us. But I'll be damned if they aren't reacting in their everyday life according to what we've done to hurt them, whether we remember it or not. So, can alcohol put me in situations that I would rather not be in, that I would not be in, I'd never choose to be in my normal life? It can. It can put me in a situation where I am married to somebody I would not have been married to. I'm divorced from somebody I could have made work, but for the fact that alcohol just, you know, had me give up instead of being healthy enough to look through at what my options were before alcohol just made the decision for me, either by bad decision making or by omission. Because a lot of times as alcoholics, we don't make decisions and life just happens around us in spite of us. So anyways, thanks for listening, and please join, and follow, subscribe, and share some of the information about the insights into the alcoholic's mind and how it affects the people that they love around them. We can be more a part of the solution and less a part of the problem if we just, get past this wall of ignorance and have a little bit of insight into what's going on. Thanks.